I'm Dr. Gavin Svensson, and we're here in the Department of Invertebrate Zoology in the entomology section. And we're going to talk about the recent fieldwork we just did in Peru. We discovered 4 new species of mantids on this trip. 3 of them fall within a genus that I work on now. And that's why I was immediately able to tell that they were, in fact, new species, because I'm very familiar with this genus, and I've been working on it for 5 years now. So when I see them in the field, they look different enough to me that I know that they're a new species. And then there was a 4th new species from a different genus that looks nothing like anything that's been described in the literature. So it was so obvious that it was something new that we were able to tell right away. There might be even more new species that we discovered, but I'm not familiar enough with those groups to really tell immediately until we really investigate them further. A lot of times when we go out and sample, we use canopy trapping, and there's thousands and thousands of insect species that live only in the canopy of rainforests. And if you can't get there, it's difficult to sample them. So in the past, we've done straight up tree climbing techniques that arborists will use to get up in the top of rainforest canopies. We've converted to hoisting traps up into the canopy as well, and that works pretty good, and it's a faster setup. But at this research station, there was actually a tower, and you just walk up a staircase, and then you were able to set up all the equipment at the top of the tower. So that's the most preferable circumstance, because it takes you 5 minutes to get to the top of the canopy, doesn't take you any work, and you're able to sample a lot of the same stuff, which is why we like to go to research stations. So the process is, when we get these things back into the lab, I do preparation work on them, mount them up, I do dissections, and then all of that information goes together and gets published. And to describe a new species, you can't just declare that it is a new species, but you actually publish the information in a peer-reviewed scientific journal, and that goes out and is regulated by the International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. And that whole process is a strict, rigorous process in describing new species. We still want to do field work these days and get out of the lab and get out of the museum, because there's so much more biodiversity out there to discover in the first place. I mean, insects are some of the most abundant, successful, and biologically diverse organisms on Earth. And we really are starting to scratch the surface of what the true diversity is out there. And if you can't get there, and you can't go there to actually sample and look at these things, we may never know that they have ever existed. And it might be surprising to a lot of people, but you can pick a lot of places on the Earth where people have not sampled insect diversity very effectively. There are places that are sampled very nicely, and we have a good record of what's there. But there are other places where we're experiencing deforestation and habitat loss and things like that that threaten biodiversity. And we might not have ever sampled there.